Well, good morning, folks. A few days after the last video here, and we're moving these cows. This is their second move on this 3-acre pasture slash silvopasture. You can see over their backs there's a few trees growing just on the other side of that temporary fence line, and those are a few different varieties of nut trees. So let's just have a look here. Red oak, American chestnut, and another American chestnut. So we're keeping this temporary fence about 10 feet away from these trees because the cows will reach over and grab leaves to a type of tree that they like. Now, I had moved them through an area with some black walnuts and fenced most of them off. I missed a couple and they never touched them. So I think trees that are a little bit foreign to them, maybe they're not so apt to consume. Maybe the nut trees aren't as, the leaves on them aren't as palatable. So here's some of this dogwood I talked about in the last video. And I said that the cows were gonna browse on that quite hard. Look, they just got in here literally minutes ago. They're already snipping the tops off of this. And here's a little patch of dogwood that looked just like that other one 3 days ago. They snipped everything off the top, basically removed all the foliage. And you can accomplish the same type of thing by brush hogging with a tractor. But there are some issues to that, and there might actually be some value in leaving these standing twigs up during the winter months. So we can see here, there's still quite a mat of grass in there. And this is going to grow, so this won't be grazed again until the end of October. So we expect to have about a foot of grass. Growth is slower this time of year. But by allowing this stuff to be standing a little taller than, say, your 6-inch cut on a brush hog, you're kind of creating this nice insulated layer for the winter months. And it may limit the extent of ground freezing in this silvopasture over the winter, which will be a nice boost to the nut trees. The roots will be protected by this nice mat. And when you have grass like this, there's a lot of air in there, so it is a good insulator, relatively speaking. Here's this big Simmental cow enjoying some dogwood, taking a snip off everything as he goes, or she goes. And now it found some vetch. It's a later season forage that we have in Nova Scotia. I think it was commonly planted as a forage seed in the 70s and 80s around here. You see it in a lot of the older fields. It likes to be able to mature throughout the summer. So it actually, the fact that we have managed this particular field like we have, grazing it for the first time in September, has allowed that plant to really come up. And here's the area where they grazed again. Their poop isn't too runny. It's actually, when you see poop like that, it's a pretty good indicator that they're getting a nice balanced diet. We're kind of looking for a little bit of a puddle in the middle, which really shows that they're getting the proper amount of protein. And I've seen it on a few of the patties here. I'm not going to walk around. Oh, here's one. That puddle in the middle is a good indicator that they're getting the right balance of protein in contrast to other starches and everything else that's in the forage. So here it is, 3 days grazing. And they'll start 3 days here again. They left lots of manure, left enough standing that we'll have good regrowth for one more grazing this fall. And I'm just looking at these cattle here. They're definitely not hurting. They're in really good shape, nice and round. So you can maintain a healthy herd of ruminants on what a lot of people would probably consider degraded and worn over pasture. A lot of work would go into this if we had to plow it, till it up, reseed it. Then you have to wait most of the year for that sod to develop. This way we just leave the sod intact, and you can just time your grazing periods and also the duration of grazing to beat down whatever undesirables you want. So that's just a quick video, an update on moving these cows through this new silvopasture.